Hey guys, and welcome to the Family Fudge. In today's video, I have a bunch of fun lunch ideas to share with you, and this week, rainbow bread is back. Now you guys, all of the lunches I'm sharing this week are super cute and colorful, but they're also really easy to make and don't take a lot of time. So if you're looking for some fun lunch inspiration, stay tuned. Now, today's lunch is going to be nut-free, and you guys, this lunch is going to be a cross between rainbow, breakfast, and Mickey. Those are three of my favorite things. So to get started, I'm actually going to mix up a bunch of pancake batter. I'm just using this really simple kind where all you have to do is add water, but definitely if you want to, you can make your batter from scratch. As you can see, I've just taken a little bit of the batter to several different little squeeze bottles. I found these guys at Dollar General, and I'm thinking they're gonna make this process a lot easier. So now that I have the batter in the bottles, I'm just gonna mix up a red, yellow, green, and blue. And this part is important, you guys. I'm actually doing this while my waffle iron is not on. That way I have plenty of time to get all of my batter in here before it starts cooking. And now that I have all of the batter like I like it, I can go ahead and cook the waffle. And I really think the trick is to not overcook these, otherwise the colors get kind of dull. Okay guys, now this first one didn't turn out exactly like I had thought, so I'm gonna definitely give this another try. And check it out, you guys, rainbow Mickey waffles. Now, of course, you can serve your waffles with any kind of topping that you like. Sometimes I'll add in some maple syrup, but today I'm just gonna add in a little bit of strawberry jam on the side. So now that the main course is done, I'm going to move on to the fruit. And today I'm adding a combination of green grapes and strawberries. And then for the veggies, I'm also going to double it up here with a little bit of celery and carrots together. Of course, to go along with them, I have a little container of ranch. And then keeping with our breakfast theme, I'm also going to be adding in some of this vanilla Greek yogurt. And then last but not least, I'm also going to go ahead and give the kids a little bag of these veggie chips. Okay guys, next up, I'm actually going to be making two different wraps. And you guys, both of these sound super interesting and delicious. For the first one, I'm going to take just a regular flour tortilla, and to this I'm going to go ahead and spread on some regular cream cheese. This isn't flavored or anything, although you could use flavored cream cheese and that would be good too. Now at this point, I'm going to be adding on lots of grated carrot. Of course, carrots are super sweet and crunchy. I'm personally a huge fan of fresh carrots, not so much the cooked variety though. Now I am gonna go ahead and add a little bit of salt and pepper on here just to season it up a little bit. And you guys, believe it or not, that's everything in this wrap. I'm just gonna go ahead and roll it up and it's good to go. And I could serve it just like it is, but I think it would be really pretty to go ahead and cut it into spirals. Now for the other wrap, again, I'm starting with just a regular flour tortilla, but this time, instead of adding cream cheese, I'm going to be adding some peanut butter. Now personally, I think this would be really good with extra crunchy peanut butter because that's my favorite. Now at this point, instead of adding grated carrots like I did with the first wrap, I'm adding in some grated apple. This is actually a combination of Granny Smith apples and sweet Gala apples. I love that sweet and tart combination in here. And with this wrap, instead of adding salt and pepper, I'm just gonna sprinkle this with a little bit of cinnamon. Now all I have to do is roll it up. I'll go ahead and slice this as well. And you guys, that's all there is to it. These look so good. So now that the main course is done, I'm going to move on to fruit. So I'm going to do a combination of both red and green, grape, cherry, tomatoes. So I'm just going to add a couple of those right in here with some fun food picks as well. For Isabel's snack, she requested crackers, so I'm just gonna add a few of these ones. And now it's time for the treat. For this lunch, I'm gonna be throwing together some peanut butter balls. Instead of adding chocolate chips, I'm just adding in some dried fruit. So I have craisins and raisins in here. These are so easy and so good. And now lastly, for Isabel's drink, she requested some tea sweetened with honey. You know, Isabel told me she is a teacher and she definitely needs that for her voice. And there you have it, guys. I just love the way this turned out. You guys should definitely give these wraps a try, especially if you're looking for something interesting and new. For today's lunch, I'm bringing back the rainbow bread, but this loaf, it looks a little bit different, but it's still really pretty. And to fill these sandwiches, I'm gonna go with one of my kids' favorite combinations, which is a vegetable cream cheese and turkey. Now you guys will have to let me know in the comments down below if you've ever tried this combination. It might sound weird, but it's actually really tasty, especially with vegetable cream cheese. That is our favorite. So now that our little sandwiches are done, I can move on to the rest of the lunchbox, and I'm going to do that in rainbow order. Now for the red color, I'm going to be adding in some strawberries. And for the orange color, I'm going to be adding in, you guessed it, some oranges. Over in this section, I'm going to add in some corn. And then over here in this front section, I'm going to be adding in some green grapes and some blueberries. And at this point, I'm actually going to be skipping the purple color altogether because I don't actually have anything purple at the moment. Instead, I'm going to go ahead and add in the special treat, which are some mini rainbow donuts. Now, to make these, I actually started with a white cake mix. I just went ahead and mixed this up according to the directions on the box. And then just like when I was making the Mickey waffles earlier this week, I added the batter to some squeeze bottles and then I added some food coloring. To make these into mini donuts, I pulled out my little mini donut maker. This is pretty much like a waffle iron. It just makes donut shapes instead. And in each little section, I just added a little bit of each color of the cake batter. Check it out, you guys. These turned out so good. Now you definitely could add frosting or sprinkles on here, but I think these look so good as is, so I'm just gonna leave them plain, kind of like an old-fashioned cake donut. This next lunch I'm going to start with a nice green tortilla. You guys know I love these. They add spinach to these tortillas, which is how they get that nice green color, but they don't really taste very strongly of spinach. To this, I'm just adding a layer of roasted red pepper hummus, which I think is so good. And now on top of this, I'm just adding a thin layer of turkey, followed by some thinly sliced cucumber, and just a little bit of diced tomato. You guys, this wrap is super simple, but all the ingredients are fresh and delicious. Unless you don't like tomatoes, you can of course leave those out. So now I'm just going to roll this up. I'll add a little food pick in here just to make sure these don't unravel in the lunchbox. And you guys, that's all there is to it. Now that that is done, I'm going to move on to the fruit. I'm adding a combination of kiwi and strawberries. And for her vegetables, she requested carrots with extra hummus for dipping. For Chloe's snack, she requested some salt and vinegar potato chips. So I'm just adding a little stack of these Pringle salt and vinegar chips. And now that brings me to Chloe's very special sweet treat. Now this is something she calls a healthy apple crisp. Basically just a bunch of apples. To this I'm adding cinnamon and sugar. Then this also gets a delicious crunchy topping. This is a mixture of oats and a little bit of flour. And finally, for Chloe's drink, she requested some hibiscus tea. I love hibiscus tea, especially from Starbucks. I love that. Chloe likes hers with a little bit of honey and plenty of lemon juice. And she especially likes it over ice. And of course, the star of today's lunch is going to be this beautiful rainbow bread. And I'm gonna go ahead and just make these into some good old PB&Js. But instead of just using regular jam, I thought it would be really fun to go ahead and give this watermelon jam a try. So as you can see, I went ahead and cut the rainbow bread into little stars. And don't worry, you guys, I always save the crusts when I make cutout sandwiches like this. And just as an FYI, I do have 4 kids, so usually I end up making 4 of these lunches, but I might not always show all 4 boxes because it's kind of hard to fit them all on camera. So now it's time to move on to the fruit. I'm gonna go ahead and just cut up some fresh kiwi, and then for our veggie, I'm just gonna throw in some little crinkle cut carrot sticks right on the other side. And then of course, to go along with the carrots, I'm also gonna add a little bit of ranch dressing in the center section, perfect for dipping. Now so far, I'm not seeing a lot of protein in this lunch, so I think it's the perfect time to go ahead and throw in some edamame. All of my kids love edamame, and these days I really like the kind that's already out of the shell. so they're ready to go. These ones have already been steamed and they're lightly salted. And now you guys, to complete this rainbow bread lunch, I have another rainbow treat to add. This little guy right here is a rainbow Fruit Loop bar. For these, I just started by adding 1 cup of mini marshmallows to a microwave safe bowl. Then I added 1 tablespoon of butter and I melted these in the microwave and added it to 1 cup of Fruit Loop. Because a little bit of this treat goes a long way, I just decided to make a smaller batch. Now once this is all mixed together, you could go ahead and press it into a pan, but I like to roll them into little balls instead. And as you can see, I'm just adding a little bit in here because with these treats, a little bit definitely goes a long way. And there you have it, guys. Now don't forget to let me know in the comments down below which lunch was your favorite. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.